Guys, this is PARM with Pro Box Respect, TKO. I'm back at the Punch Gym, London, with the revered Don Charles. Don, how are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, very good. It's good to see you again. It's been a few months. Last time I was here, you briefly touched on amateur boxing. I know it's something you're passionate about. So why don't we start there, sir?
Why not?
Yeah. So you mentioned last time that there's a lot of good amateur coaches out there, trainers, bringing these young guys through and don't get the sort of recognition they should. Why do you feel so passionate about that?
Well, it's something that I started by saying I didn't go through that channel, to become a professional coach.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm better than any person who, let's face it, to differentiate the word amateur and the word professional, professional means that's what you do for a living, you get paid. Doesn't mean you're good at it.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a word, isn't it, when you look at it?
Yes.
You get professional boxers, get amateur boxers. Yeah, it doesn't mean the pro is better than the amateur, it just means the professional gets paid for it and the amateur doesn't.
That's right.
Yeah, so the same applies to the coaching department. So therefore, I believe that amateur coaches all around the country, they do a magnificent job and they don't get the recognition that we in the paid ranks get.
Yeah.
Because they do the foundation, because without them there are no the amateurs who then go on to become what they become in the paid ranks. That wouldn't happen. It's a transition, isn't it? The first level is the amateur level.
Yeah.
Without that foundation, there is no fighter.
That's right.
So I'm thinking, why is it that the amateur, maybe the clubs get recognition in the sense that you get some clubs have better reputation than other clubs, because let's say Repton, for instance, over the years they've produced numerous of champions. For that reason, they'll get the club does, but not the actual trainer.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the
club
trainer. Yeah, the club gets the recognition, which is fair.
Yeah.
But I think that that should filter down to the actual trainers or trainer who train these individuals.
Previously, you've been full of praise for somebody we know, great guy, Johnny Oliver. His nephews are here today, Danny and Spencer as well. Both good fighters in their time, and Spencer a champion. Did you sort of, when you got into amateur coaching, did you say you were?
No, I never coached amateur at all. What I did say is that Johnny Oliver, I owe him a lot. He introduced me in the sense that when Derek Chisora, who I'm known for training as a professional, Johnny handed over the reins to me.
That's right.
He gave me my break because I hadn't trained any boxers prior to that happening. Okay. Johnny was wise enough to recognize, because I behind the scenes when Derek was going to turn professional, I was Johnny Oliver's assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he checked out my practical work and he said, I'm convinced you can assist me. I mean, he could have chosen so many other people from his club or from wherever else to assist him. Derek recommended as well, because I've been working privately with Derek prior to all this happening.
Yeah.
So John recognized my ability, and then he was wise enough to say, you can be my right-hand man. Then shortly after that, he decided his life changed. A few things, personal things happened in his life. He decided I need to go and deal with certain things. And then he could have gone and got more established coach to say, because they'd put a lot of work into Derek prior to me getting involved. Your Sean Murphy's at Finchley, Gary. There's so many good coaches there. John Oliver could have gone and gotten another coach and said, right, because I wasn't experienced at that point.
So fair to say he gave you a break?
Yeah, he gave me an opportunity, and I always thank him for that.
You're always grateful.
Yeah.
You mentioned just Sean Murphy just now. We saw something earlier, and like you say, it may be not in the mainstream all the time, but it was a lovely gesture to see on camera, which was Anthony Joshua doing something for Sean Murphy, right?
And now, pardon my ignorance, it could be that this is a regular occurrence within professional fighters who have gone on to do well, when we don't get to hear about what they've gone back to their club and maybe with a gesture such as what he did for Sean. I think that's remarkable. It just shows the sign of the young man.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that there's a lot of previous boxers who have also done that. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of it don't come out public, you know. But that was a really nice gesture when I saw that, and that Josh went and did what he did for Sean. That's brilliant. And again, there should be more of that, you know. There should not just be that. These guys, they go on to make a very good living. I think the right thing to do is to go back to the club of your roots, your origins, and give something, do something.
Definitely.
You know, and there should be more of that. I'm sure. I hope people can follow, other boxers, professional boxers can follow suit on what Anthony Joshua did for Sean.
And there is, I mean, I'm not a big football fan, but we were saying off camera how there could be a certain system introduced, maybe a kickback or in the contract. Because I know, like, we're professional, say footballers, when they go from, say, a mid-division club to the top of the tree, there's a kickback
to the previous club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we should look in introducing something similar to that, where, like I said, without the initial work that these amateur clubs put into the fighter to help them to go to that next level, to qualify for the next level, to go into the GB, win the ABAs, go into the GB squad. From there, from the GB squad, then they decide after any major competition whether to do it for a living, to go to the professional, the paid ranks. So there's a process, isn't there? There's phases, and I think I keep going back to the amateur thing. They should be recognised more than they do.
Well, it's great that you're really keen on it. You're very passionate, because you know you're definitely in the right way. You're a name in the world of boxing, and if there's going to be more people like yourself respectfully speaking up, maybe it's going to filter down. You know, and people will say, let's do something for the amateur coaches and the trainers, and not just the club.
Yeah, let's not forget these guys. It's all voluntary work.
That's right.
Yeah,
their own time and money.
Passion, from the love of the sport, they do it. They're not doing it because there's a big pot of gold at the end of it. Yeah, their pot of gold is to see their boy. They've been involved in training, go on to do, like, for instance, what Anthony Joshua and many others within the boxing fraternity have done over the years. I suppose that's for them to know, oh, I was a part of that. That's all they're getting out of it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there should be more than that. I think there should be more recognised. It could be given awards. It could be anything. It doesn't always have, I'm not talking just all to do with money. No, there should be some form of recognition where you could be recognised for that work, being a part of that, producing that work.
Such a key word there, Don, recognition, because that's what it's about. Just a quick one. Is there a number of amateur coaches out there that don't go over to the professional ranks? Is that because of investment, not having enough time?
How can I put it? You know, I think it's one of those things. Just different needs in different people. Everybody's different. Some people may choose to. You know, that's all I want to do. In terms of the involvement, they want just to be involved with the amateur scene. And some people might. A number of coaches are recently turning over with their boxers when they, for instance, come back from the major games and they're turning pro. A lot of amateur coaches I know, mostly recently, are turning over, getting their professional license to go that next step with their fighter. Again, I think more of that should happen, because if anyone knows the fighter, they know the fighters.
Absolutely, it's like it's like their baby, isn't it? It's
Absolutely.
their boy.
Absolutely.
So they know them.
Had I gone through the amateur system, I would have definitely. I'm the type of character I would have definitely made the transition but I didn't. I'm an African businessman.
Sure.
So basically, I never even considered doing the amateur thing. I never considered doing it. And when I look back at it, I'm thinking, my goodness, you know, as much as I'm the type of man I am, very giving, would I be that given? Because these guys give a lot. These amateur coaches, they give a lot of their time to these boys and girls, and
a lot of them have families as well, and businesses.
They've got jobs, you know, they do a 9 to 5 prior to coming to then doing their hobby, which is to coach these kids, you know, for nothing. for nothing. And
like
that's
we
remarkable.
said earlier, they've already done a day's work, haven't they?
Yeah,
You know,
they've done,
mentally as well,
mentally and
physically.
physically, you're exhausted,
Yeah.
and you still find that passion. That just to show you how passionate these guys are about doing what they do, because they've done a full day's work in something totally unconnected to boxing in most cases, and then they still find that mental, not just physical, mental and physical energy to come and instruct. Yeah. And so most amateur clubs are up 3 days a week, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they run 3 days a week. Yeah, three evenings a week. So they're putting minimum of what's that, 6 to 8 hours a week of their time, unpaid time, to nurturing these kids year after year after year after year.
Yeah, and they still need to cover the costs as well of all of that. I don't know many examples off the top of my head where somebody's been with a fighter from sort of say boy to maybe amateur and then professional. I'm sure there's some father and son examples. 2 professional ones I can think of. I know you know them, Ollie and his dad Mark.
That's right.
And you've also got, is it Andre Ward and Virgil?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's not his real father, as you know, in the sense that his
but
father coached him prior to Virgin Hunter, who's practically became his father.
Father, right.
And I think Frankie Gavin, professional coach, was also his amateur coach, I believe.
Okay.
There's been a few cases where that has happened, but it's not as widespread as it should be.
Yeah. Hopefully, there will be something coming. I mean, is that something that you think you could get involved in trying to help
There's
set up?
so many things I want to get involved with. I mean, first things first, I'm still chasing my goal. My goal is to produce a world champion. Somebody give me a world champion.
It will happen.
I'm doing everything I can with the current fighters I have.
Yeah.
And I have every belief that, because we've won, me as a coach, my fighters have won every title there is to win. Domestic titles, international titles, European titles, but that world title has been very scarce in coming. So it won't be long now. I believe one of my current fighters will, once I've done that, then I can say, yes, I've coached at world level. You're not recognized to you're only recognized to the levels you've achievements. I need to get that world title as a coach, one of my fighters, and in any weight category I'll take it.
Yeah.
So once that happens, there's so many projects I want to within the boxing industry that I've recognized that needs to be addressed, and I love boxing. We all love boxing.
Yes.
I'm not saying I love it more than the next man. I'm just saying there's so many things that I've noticed during my time doing boxing. The last 30 years I've been involved, both as an amateur fighter, as a professional coach. There's so many things I've noticed I'd like to influence and also like to introduce or help to introduce. One man can't do it all. This is, the ideas I've got are bigger than one man. It's for the industry, to help the industry.
And I'm sure it will, because you're already on camera, you're trying to spread a very positive message. And just to say, I mean, the vibe in your gym is amazing. I mean, it's midday, we're sitting here doing an interview and there's about 20 people in your gym. You know?
And me personally, I've done 6 a.m. today with the boys, the boxers, Hampstead Heath, which is where we do our Saturday runs.
Yeah.
I've done my part today. So far, when we finish this, the work doesn't stop.
No, that's right.
Non-stop. I'm back in the kitchen. I call that the kitchen. I'm back in the kitchen cooking up the next recipe.
Good. Just quickly moving on, because you touched on your current fighters. I believe whether it's scarce, elusive, it's definitely going to come, because I can see it. You've got the determination. Talking about your the 2 fighters I mostly know, which is Del Boy, Derek Chisora, and Frank Buglioni. Firstly, Derek's fighting in
Finland.
Finland, 27th of May, with somebody he's fought before, right? About 5 years ago?
6 years ago.
6 years ago, with it's Robert, is it Helenius?
Helenius, yeah.
Helenius, right, okay. So when he fought Dillian White, and we done an interview then, that was for the mandatory, wasn't it, for the
Eliminator.
Yeah. So it was a very close fight, split decision. This is for the WBC silver heavyweight. How do you see this fight going?
Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise we're going to lose. No such thing.
Of course.
We will win. We won the first encounter, and we will win. We'll make this one conclusive. Reasons beyond doubt. by any means necessary, whether it's a stoppage, whether it's where the performance is that they can't again deny us that victory. We will again, when you're crossing over to go to their ground, it's almost like playing away. If it was a football team, they say we're playing away.
Yeah.
We're going to Finland, to Helsinki, to try and secure victory. I've read my fighter from the day one the fight was announced. I've reminded him, you know, we're not going to get any favors. We're being invited as a sacrificial lamb. That will not happen. Yeah. Let's say we were naive 6 years ago. We're not naive now. We know what we need to do. We're not looking for any favors from any judges, any referees, any promoters. We will go there within the rules and make the fight conclusive in our favor.
Good. Well, I was just going to say, because Derek's no stranger to fighting abroad, and you've just probably answered it, because I was just going to say, how's his mindset? How's the camp going? Sounds like it's going great.
Well, it's going great. Like I said, the main thing we must bear in our minds, we're not, you know, when you don't know, then you have to experience. This is all based on previous experiences where, you know, we're not that naive. We're going there to, you know, have a fight. No, we're going there to make it conclusive by any means necessary within the rules.
Of course. Could be a question for next one. Could be a question for Steve Goodwin. I was actually going to say, God bless, a victory is definitely going to come. With Derek, if he winning this fight, does that put him back in contention for the WBC title or any of the titles? Is it?
Yeah, listen, the state of the world heavyweight, world boxing in general is very, very good at the moment, and I believe that once he wins, we'll get that victory in Finland. That will put him in good stead. Whether his next fight after that is a world title, who knows? I'm not a promoter. That's the promoter's job to then engineer to maneuver you into contention. You know, just got to win.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the next fight or win the next fight, whether the one after that is a world title. If it is, brilliant. If it's not, win. Just win.
Just keep winning.
Just keep winning.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It will come.
And it will come, definitely. We mentioned Frank Buglioni, British light heavyweight champion. He's got a fight in June at the O2. Yeah, 3rd of June against Ricky Summers.
Absolutely.
Okay. So just briefly again, how's it going with Frank and the camp and training?
Preparation's going really well. We had a little setback. I'm sure you're aware of it. This fight was supposed to have happened 2 months ago, and Frank sustained a cut in during sparring, and it's pushed us back. Again, it's a voluntary defense. Again, there's only one approach. Regardless of it being a voluntary defense, Frank is training like he's training for a world title. He should do. We're not underestimating, because if I were Ricky Summers and suddenly someone picks on me and said, I'll fight you, because their voluntary defense means we nominated to fight him. So if I would take insult, if that was me, I will prepare. You know what? You've chosen the wrong man. That would be my mentality.
Sure.
Yeah. So therefore, it's almost like, I'll give you an example. A few years ago, Vladimir Klitschko nominated to fight Derek Chisora. Out of the blue, Derek was British and Commonwealth champion at the time.
Sure.
And they're nominated to fight us. Exactly what I've just said to you here, I put into Derek's head. I said, you know what? I take that as an insult. Yeah, the man thinks he's got the beating of you. You're minding your business, going on your own journey. He says, I'll fight you. I said, okay, let's do it then. Yeah. So we prepared, went over there. Do you know what? They were smart. The great late Emmanuel Stewart, whom I rate highly, 7 weeks prior to his death, God bless him where he is now, he, on a very long telephone conversation about other things to do with boxing, during that conversation he revealed to me that he did pull his man out of the fight. Yeah, he's more or less said it in various interviews he gave in the past. But from my ear to his ear, he's not here to confirm it, but the conversation did happen, and he said Derek was all wrong for his guy. Yeah, we went over to Mannheim in Germany to fight Klitschko. We prepared in Scotland, and 3 days prior to the fight, they saw us on a public workout in Germany, and they were clever enough, the coach was clever enough to suss that, no, because they hadn't seen Derek, they don't know nothing about Derek.
It's an unknown quantity, wasn't it?
And they saw in the flesh, and Emmanuel Stewart, that's what, you see, a lot of people mistake about being this great coach. It's not about so much that he, you know, when I saw their pad work, because I was expecting something really out of this world, because I hadn't seen it, And when I saw it, I was disappointed. Yeah, again, that's me being naive. So what I learned from Emmanuel, the late great Emmanuel Stewart's decision to pull his fighter out, what I learned from that, it's not all about, it's about wisdom, it's about sussing a fight.
That's right.
Yeah, he saw enough within a 3-minute workout to ascertain that no, take a rain check here, this is all wrong for, these guys have nothing to lose. He could see in our eyes, we were hungry, we wanted those titles and to make history. The aborted mission. Obviously we were devastated. The fighter, the training team was devastated. We had to come back to England to regroup. They promised us another date. Again, we were back in England. Whilst training for that date, they then made it, they're not going to fight at all because it was a voluntary defense.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do it.
It's not mandatory.
So David Hay then jumped in and took our place to do it. Yeah.
Just quickly on as you know, Ricky Summers is undefeated fighter.
Yeah.
So Frank up for this. I'm sure he is. He's probably all geared up for this, isn't he? He's up for the challenge, isn't he?
Most definitely. Remember, we nominated to fight this young man, so we have to, within the rules, train like we're preparing for King Kong. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. And Frank is relentless in his approach. He's very disciplined in the way he trains. Very diligent in the way he trains. I'm a very disciplined coach. So collectively, the team, we are very disciplined. I'm not saying other people are not, but I know that we're very disciplined, and our approach, we will be victorious on the 3rd of June because we nominated for a lot of reasons. We nominated to fight this guy, you know.
Listen,
so
Frank always never disappoints. He puts on a great show. I've known Frank now for about 4 years, and I remember when he was example of where he was working during the day, I think as a civil engineer.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then he was training at TKO. Quantity surveyor, exactly. So it just shows you if you stick with it, where you can get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's a top guy, and I wish him all the best. Don, thank you very much for today, and all the best with your fighters. I'm sure that world title's coming.
It's coming.
And hopefully we can get more done for the amateur coaches out there as well.
Believe me, I'm a man of my words. Let's keep reminding me. The more you call me, it's people like yourself who is able to put it out there from the work that you do. Again, you're not getting paid for this.
No.
Right? It's again the journey. Where have you come from today?
Ken.
Right. All the way to get this piece.
Yes.
Yeah. It's through work like this where we'll be able to get these messages out, and then eventually something will happen about it. So keep your good work up as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And without people like yourself and many other people, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you for everybody for their support too. But I'll let you go because I know some guys waiting to do a one-to-one with you.
I've got to get back in the kitchen.
You've got to get back in the kitchen. You've got to keep cooking something spicy. Listen, we'll catch up soon.
All right,
take care, Don.
Pleasure.